All right, are we ready? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. EAAI means a lot to me, and I'm very excited that the conference has chosen Charles Isbell and Michael Littman as this year's winners of the EAAI Patrick Henry Winston Outstanding Educator Award. I've worked closely with both Charles and Michael over the years and have seen firsthand their commitment to the field, the students, and to each other. In fact, the reason that Michael and I first met was because Charles injured himself playing Ultimate and twisted Michael's arm to run a EAAI Fall Symposium for him. Charles and Michael have been working on education and outreach their whole professional lives. Each of them has chalked up some extremely impressive individual accomplishments, but where they've really broken new ground is the way they've worked together, playing off each other to help students and audiences see new ideas and make new connections in a creative, lighthearted way. They've done joint interviews, taught joint classes, created joint music videos, and weirdly, delivered several joint invited keynotes. To be clear, Charles is the one who gets invited to give the keynotes. Michael just shows up in them like a kind of curly-haired Where's Waldo. That's actually been Michael's shtick for a long time. In fact, at the aforementioned Fall Symposium, I gave the plenary presentation while Michael posed as Clippy, popped up behind me regularly to give me suggestions about improving the talk. They weren't very good suggestions. One of the reasons their joint appearances work so well is because they have genuine rapport. They have similar but complementary perspectives, and each seems to enjoy hearing what the other has to say. They ask questions of each other that the audience is thinking but doesn't have the chance to ask. They make everyone part of the conversation. They embody the concept of romance, or, as some people might say, friendship. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do now. Charles and Michael said they were too shy to talk about their education efforts, so I'm going to help them out by interviewing them, fireside chat style. But first, to set the tone and provide some context, I'll share a 10-minute video with some iconic moments of their shared communication efforts. Take it away, Charles and Michael.
The following is a conversation with Charles Isbell and Michael Littman. And since they are good friends in real life, we all thought it would be fun to have a conversation together.
Young gentleman in the front, please come up and help me.
What exactly is it that you need me to do?
Is this your first time at EAAI?
I was program co-chair actually a couple years ago.
Smoov and curly on video.
How did you like the episode, Charles?
Michael and I have co-taught a machine learning class, which has now reached, 10,000 people at least over the last several years, or somewhere thereabouts.
You got some data. I need to find a rule that can predict.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever's appropriate to where you are.
But what is your biggest, would you say, disagreement?
I don't think we have any disagreements at all.
I'm not sure that's true.
I didn't come to that EAAI, so we've never met.
We've done several classes together, actually. We've written papers together. You text me all the time.
Okay, here's the game. You got two people. These two people are criminals.
Oh no! Are they smooth criminals?
One of them is.
Whether or not machine learning is computational statistics.
It's not.
But it is.
Well, it's not. And in particular, and more importantly, it is not just computational statistics.
So what's missing in the picture?
All the rest of it. So here's another illustration that might help more. Curly and Smoov are at a snack bar. Okay, we'll make a bet. I'll pick one of the patrons in the bar. You guess whether he or she will order a milkshake in the next 5 seconds.
My backstory is that I've never been able to get on a game show.
I'm deprived of a backstory. All I need is if I can win this, if I can just win this game, I will use it to buy myself a backstory.
As a community, we're compiler hackers. And that what we need to do is we need to spend at least as much time being software engineers and programming language nerds and maybe ethnographers.
When they were starting their online master's program, he knew that I was really excited about MOOCs and online teaching. And he's like, I have a plan. And I'm like, tell me your plan. He's like, I can't tell you the plan yet. And he said, I would like you to teach the machine learning course with me. I'm like, that can't possibly work. But it was a great idea, and it was super fun.
But it means that I can show you more than just my own work, bring in a wider set of voices. But first, pardon me while I get into character. If it were just the statistics, then we would be happy with where we are. But it's not just the statistics.
That's why it's computational statistics.
Or if it were just the computational.
I agree that machine learning is not just statistics.
It is not just statistics.
We can agree on that.
Nor is it just computational statistics.
It's computational statistics.
It is computational.
What is that? Hello? Who's there?
It is I, your office mate from your days at AT&T Labs so many, many years ago.
That doesn't sound too bad. I mean, most people aren't buying milkshakes most of the time. I'm pretty sure I can win this. Okay, I'm in.
By the way, I like this idea of backstory for a couple of reasons. One, because, well, it was kind of the central theme, but it also is a nice metaphor that the problems we are seeing now are a result of very early design decisions.
Is that what people call technical debt?
Because I'm actually not sure what it means.
Now, it's often used, I think, to mean, you cut some corners, right? You're like, well, I'm going to just store this in a file. I'm not going to store it in a database because there's a lot of overhead in trying to do that.
Must have been 45,000 points of data seen.
Oh no.
Forming clumps of points, algorithms, accents, similarities.
Whoa.
Make a data blob, it's a good job, gonna do K-mean.
This is exactly why I'm here, Michael. I don't think you're paying enough attention to machine learning and what it's doing to the world around you.
It's been really great. For me.
Yes, Michael, for you. But there's a bigger picture here, and you aren't seeing it.
So if curly-haired guy defects before the other guy does, then 0. He walks. He pays no cost.
Perhaps the way I can get him to admit that he's wrong,
yeah.
is that it's about rules.
It's about rules.
It's about symbols. It's about all these other things.
But statistics is not about rules? I'm going to say statistics is about rules.
But it's not just the statistics, right? It's not just a random variable that you choose and you have a probability.
I think you have a narrow view of statistics.
Okay, well then what would be the broad view of statistics that would still allow it to be statistics and not say history?
Like I had thought that, so it's Robert Ford. I tried to be really careful about learning the character names this time. I wrote them down in my file. So Robert Ford is Hannibal Lecter.
Is that a database?
It's not. Actually, it's a Google Doc.
You will regret that later.
Yeah, I made some architectural decisions,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so easy to get started.
Yep, there you go. That's how they get you.
And now you're threatened, attacked by your support vector machine. Just use the mean.
Me. Will I order a milkshake in the next 5 seconds?
I don't know. No?
Hey, can I get a chocolate milkshake over here? So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to 3 sets of people. Some will represent computing and machine learning research past, some machine learning research present, and others machine learning research yet to come.
Hold on. Is this some kind of Christmas Carol themed keynote? Is that why I'm wearing this weird hat? Wait, you cast me as Scrooge?
There's a big thick wall here. Curly guy doesn't know what Smoov guy is doing, and Smoov guy doesn't know what curly guy is doing.
So software engineering statistics?
No.
Programming languages statistics?
No.
Because I think it's useful to think about a lot of what AI and machine learning is, or certainly should be, as software engineering, as programming languages. Just if to put it in language that you might understand, the hyperparameters beyond the problem itself.
See, hyperparameters is too many syllables for me to understand.
Oh, I see now. The bar bet is unwinnable for the same reason the halting problem is unsolvable.
Right? We're watching. We are complicit in the whole thing, right? We are just as much, participating in the Westworld theme park as the people who are in the story participating in the Westworld theme park. Whoa.
To the extent that we can grow the pie and have education be not just something you do for 4 years when you're done with your other education, but it be a more lifelong thing.
Boosting, bagging, weight decay, a gaping margin saves your day. But what a chilling plot this is to find the right hypothesis.
Let's start with your ideas about physics.
So the camera, in essence, is a sensor.
And the way we fixed it was we designed a specialized learner that would recognize when we had an anomaly.
So I think that a lot of the times these models are picking up on these kind of artifacts of the training set.
thinking about the consequences of what you do, what you build, and how you build software systems is fundamental.
Both people can defect, both people can cooperate, one person can defect, and the other person cooperates. So there's actually 4 different options there.
I feel a matrix coming on.
Charles, what's your favorite thing that you're grateful for about Michael?
Well, that answer is actually quite easy. His friendship.
He stole the easy answer.
I did.
Yeah, I can tell you what I hate about Charles. He steals my good answers.
And she's like, why? Why would you do that? And he's like, maybe it's part of my backstory. And he was mocking the idea that he was, that he might be a character in a story, but he was literally a character in a story.
Yeah, the inner product is not 0 for sure. It's not quite 1. 0.7 maybe. Just enough that you can learn.
Just enough that you can learn.
That's the definition of friendship. The inner product is 0.7.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very near-term or currently happening negative applications of predictive algorithms.
If you want machine learning algorithm to do something, you have to ask it to do that.
This kind of caused machine learning to bump up against society at large.
I think computational statistics is a means to an end. It is not an end in some sense. And I think that really matters here. In the same way that I don't think computer science is just engineering or just science or just math or whatever. But
Okay, so I'd have to now agree that now we agree on everything.
My phone routinely confuses me from my other dark-skinned friends.
So, Google tried to hit this right with is this a man or is this a woman? And, we're realizing that perhaps gender is more varied.
They had this computer vision model that couldn't correctly classify Black women.
I guess we're going to say that the algorithm is biased towards requiring more data.
We don't just get these environments for free, typically, if we're really trying to use them. We have to come up with these environments.
How do we make them interpretable? How do we make them robust? How do we think about generalization?
I don't believe a field that is substantially underrepresented for over 70% of our population is a field that is necessarily going to be getting all of our best talent.
by the way, if luck favors the Charles, then it's certainly the case that I've been very lucky to know you.
Oh, I'm going to edit that part out.
Welcome back, Charles, Mike, to be here with you. And I have a few questions for you about your educational activities. Here's the first.